up because this chapter has kicked my ass around the block a few times.
What do you mean by asking people to step up? In what way?
Um, People who haven't been involved or talked out about things before are.
Mm.
One of the things that I think of is the granddaughter of Walt Disney, who got up and said, this bill has just been put through that means I never have to pay any tax, but you will pay the taxes that I'm not paying. So you need to step up and talk. And just even somebody like that you really don't hear very much about getting up and getting really public,
Mm.
those are, yeah. Or just engaging with people, having conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
And that's one of the targets of the book club, and it's definitely been bringing up a lot of talking points within the group, and I think it behind closed doors a little bit, definitely between me and Laureen and with all of y'all guest CFs. It's been really, really awesome. And in case those of you who aren't on the call haven't contributed or seen the post, there's a post, a little fun, just for shits and giggles post that I made earlier this week, asking people to post a song that kind of illustrates some of the energies that has come up with chapter 5, this topic that Cassie Hepburn is here to facilitate with us, on life, living, death, and reality. So there's just so much there. It's like, which one out of they're all intersect, and yet it's been fun when it's posts like that to see kind of which ones people gravitate toward.
Yeah.
I've been finding some new songs that I hadn't heard of either, which is also really fun.
Very
So
cool.
thank you for everyone who's been engaging in that post and in the group in general of all the different posts over the last couple months. It's been months. We're at the other side of the hump now. It's kind of crazy.
It's amazing.
So I'd like to just take this little moment to formally introduce Miss Cass Hepburn. She is an absolutely glorious CF. She does lots of other things. She's also a body process facilitator, a right body for you taster facilitator. She's a ghostwriter. She does lots and lots of different things for lots of people, contributing to lots of people all around the world. And I'm so, so grateful for the points in time that her and I have played directly together. And there's just a lightness and a funness with Cassie that just comes through whenever you meet, like, interacting with Cass. And I'm just so grateful that you chose to come and play with us on the Living Beyond Distraction Book Club. So, of course, this is the Living Beyond Distraction Book Club. All of you who are in this club now also know that we play with the access consciousness clearing statement of right, wrong, good, bad, pod and poc, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And if you still haven't figured out what that all is and you'd like to know more, please get on over to theclearingstatement.com. And yeah, for sure, if there's anything at all that you could get out of this call today around life, living, death, and reality, oh boy, what would that be? Wow.
And I posted that question in the chat if you would feel more comfortable and it'd be easier for you to text it out and type it out than to verbally unmute yourself, but you can also unmute yourself at any point to ask Cassie or any of us any questions at any point. We love hearing your questions, y'all.
We do. Well, thank you. So life, living, death, and reality. All those fun things. I like what Gary says at the beginning of the chapter here. Life is what you keep pursuing on planet Earth as if you can get it right. Then you will actually have a life. And when you're trying to get something right, there is so much judgment. You have to judge all around the clock. So everywhere you have looked for life as though if you can get it right, you will have a life, as though that is what you really want and it will work out right. Everything that is, times a godzillion. Will you destroy and uncreate it all, please?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Cool, thank you. So, and what physical actualization of the terminal and eternal disease of generation, creation, and institution are you not acknowledging as the definitive limitation of life on planet Earth? Everything that is times a godzillion. Will you destroy and uncreate it, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. We spend so much time thinking, well, when I get this right, then I'll really start to live. When I do this, when I get more money, then I will do this. We're using all these definitions and constantly defining. I think that's why this chapter kicked my ass so badly. I read this so many times the first while, and I'm like, seriously, I had no idea that it was still so present. And how often is it also our awareness of how other people are functioning in their lives? So all the people around us and out in the world who are choosing to live from this reality in their lives of definition, can we please destroy and uncreate all of that where we bought that as ours or sold that as ours and return all of that to sender now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Oh, that's better.
I love that, Cassie. And it's so funny because as I was reading the chapters, I was like, now I get it why I get so irritated by people who go, when I retire, I can rest.
I know.
What? Or when
Yeah.
I can retire, I can start having fun. I'm like, man, that's going to be like 65, 70, 75 years of
Yeah.
not enjoying your life, not
Yeah.
enjoying your day, not enjoying getting out of bed in the morning, to then
Totally.
enjoy it for all of like 10 or 15, maybe 20 years.
And that's
Yeah.
even if you make it. What if you die before then?
Well,
Which happens
how many
to
people
death?
do? They retire and they die, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I
Yep.
know.
I'm
It's
like, it doesn't work for me. Not
no,
at all. And then
no.
I love what he said on page 42. If there's a charge on it, then it's having an effect in your life somewhere and running the processes even through the charge to change it. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, there's a charge on that. Okay. So it's having an effect on me somewhere.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
where's the irritation? Where's the lie for me? Well, the lie for me is that doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
You know, that point of view just does not work for me. It's like, and I loved it when he was talking about movement and how
Yes.
the body is always moving. There's always movement everywhere.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, even
Yeah.
on the simplest term, if you're having a rest, like lying down and having a snooze, your body is still constantly moving.
Yeah.
And like with your breath and your diet, you know, your digestive system and everything is still constantly moving.
And your blood's flowing. Well, and we look out in nature.
Then I went even further and I went, when we die, we're still moving because our bodies decompose. And then all of those nutrients go into whatever, if you're buried in the ground or whatever. But there's always constant movement. Even if you get cremated, there's movement of the molecules within wherever the ashes are stored. It's
Yeah.
like, wow, there's just movement everywhere, every time, everything. We never, ever actually rest.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that just totally blew my brain.
So everything that is times a godzillion, and any of the resistance and reaction and all of that, can we destroy and uncreate it all?
Absolutely.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. I know it's, and how much have we all made ourselves so wrong at different parts of our life because we didn't want to have a life like anybody else, or we couldn't quite make it work that way to live in those little tiny wee boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I love what, oh, I don't know if I can find it now. Um, one of the things that Gary was saying about when we come from that place of wrongness, we've solidified, we've stopped moving, we've stopped that motion.
Yep.
So, yeah. So how many of you realize that in trying to have a life, you've been trying to define what having a life is without having a clue about what having a life is, while pretending that if you could figure it out, you would know what life is. But you would still not be having a life because you're not bothering to generate, create, or institute it most of the time. And that is what true life and living are. They are the capacity for generative, creative, and institutive choices. So everything that is times a godzillion, can we destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. So, and everywhere we've defined ourselves, or we've tried to live by other people's definitions of how we should live, can we please, everywhere we bought and sold that as ours, can we destroy and uncreate it, please?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds.
Cassie, I think I found the bit that you were asking about in the chapter. You were asking about a section where Gary talks about every molecule has motion.
Yeah.
Do you want me to read that out?
Would you? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, sure. So Gary writes, when you look at a molecule, you see positive and negative electrons. And this is on location 2286 in the Kindle. I don't have it in the book right now. It's right after a section that's titled Reality, if that helps. When you look at a molecule, you see positive and negative electrons surround the center, which is the nucleus of the element. They are the source of what creates movement within the structure of the system of the molecule. If you look at you as the nucleus of the molecule, and you're within the molecule of your own reality, you would recognize that every time you go to wrongness, that is the moment you need to go to the strength of the positive element called change. So he talks about wrongness is the negative element and change is the positive element. So you create movement. Every molecule has motion, and you have to create the motion in your life, which becomes life, which takes that motion as a real living. When you are in motion, you are living. But we have defined living as, what do we have to do? What do we have to get done? What do we do outside of places where we have to do what we institute? True living is motion, total motion. Do you recognize that you are seldom comfortable being quiet? That doesn't apply to me at all. You're seldom comfortable not having something going on at all times. Why?
Yeah.
Because there is a different possibility in motion. One of the things, other than that's phenomenal call on your part, Cassie, to talk about that, the other thing that kind of comes up with me with this when I'm reading it again is what we talked about in the last book club about would you teach a fish to climb a tree? Yeah. So the ADHD and ADD, where they're seen as a wrongness for needing to be in motion, needed to have all that change all the time, this speaks to that. It's like they're in this creative generative space by honoring that their true infinite beingness, when they're being truly them, is them being in motion. That's, we are too, but we've been shutting it down And what would it take for us to tap into that capacity that they have even more, that we have? We've just been kind of like turning our back to it, hiding it away, shutting it down. I'm totally going to like highlight and mark that one and share it with some of my parents, if those that are willing to hear it.
And how often, if something that's been taken as a wrongness, like ADD or so many different things, or being highly, highly aware, if you come and take a look at it from the other side, it's actually in an enormous capacity.
So many things.
I have this client with a ton of different diagnoses, and a lot of our sessions are getting him to acknowledge the X-Man that he is, so he can look at what he's aware of in other bodies and other beings as actually, wow, I've got these capacities. I just have to learn how to work with them. I have to see them as a gift. If I don't see them as a wrongness, then wow, what else is possible then?
Yeah, seeing them for what they actually are, absolutely.
Yeah.
Janelle has this great idea, if it feels light to you, Cassie. Does that require a 1, 2, 3 or something to unlock those cells that we've locked the wrongness into our being and our body? What do you think about that idea?
I think that's a brilliant idea.
Thank you, Janelle.
Yeah, so everybody, get
the wands out.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Bigger, 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 bigger. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. 1, 2, 3. Turn it up even more. Way, 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 way. Awesome. 1, 2, 3. A little bit more. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Awesome.
I'm so hot right now. Is that anyone else? Like I'm reading Kate's comment about burning out, and I was like, yeah. And then I was like, wait, that's not what she means. But oh my god.
And can we do a 1, 2, 3, 4 to open the door for new possibilities? Awesome. Big, 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 big. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 4. Yeah.
We love that.
Not creating any change here at all.
Yeah, so, right when you said that, Kate, I have chills too. That's awesome.
Hallelujah.
One of the things I've become more and more and more aware of the last while is, how often have we all heard Gary talk about when you're not creating, when you don't have enough to do, you create shit. I have been aware of that to a degree I never have before. And I'm like, seriously? I need to do this many things at once? Well, God, no wonder there was that sense of boredom or a sense of just creating so much shit in my head. Like not fun stuff.
The OCCC, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I totally get what you're talking about, Cass. I had a bit of a period last year where I went into overdrive on creating shit financially for myself.
Right.
And it was after I'd stopped working with a couple of people. And so my at-home life was a lot more quiet for a little bit. It was like I was in a bit of a hold, not a hold, but a space zone where there was like a big opening for lots of new possibilities. But instead of taking that and going, right, now what can I create? I went, right, let's create some financial shit. That'll be fun.
Does that apply to anyone else in our club, I wonder?
Probably not.
It was probably about 4 or 5 weeks of financial, like real massive crunch. And I'm like, and then I went, hang on, am I bored right now? And I went, uh-huh, right, cool.
Yep.
Let's create something different now. Cool.
I've been aware of that this week as well, because as I've had more and more projects, and then I was like, last night I was a little like, and then I got a text from somebody asking if I would do some blogging from them. And when I organize a workshop, they'd like to come to Canada and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's all gone.
Love it, love it, love it.
So
I just,
everywhere we've ever decided that we'll be overwhelmed if we have too much on the go, or that we have to create and live our lives and like everybody else does, doing one thing at a time. Can we please destroy and uncreate that and actually create a life and living that works for us?
Yeah.
With a whole lot of fun in there too.
Please, with the fun, please.
And laughter. Thank you. I think we might need to do a 3: right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds, and let's just do one big, enormous 3. 1, 2, 3. And maybe one more.
The fun's already showing up here, people. Oh my God. I love it. Thank you.
Goodness. And then there's one of the clearings.
Thank you, Kate. I love it too.
yes. I have to say, it was so funny coming from, the 8 to 5, Monday to Friday job. Sometimes it was hours on a Saturday in a really structured kind of way, and then you'd go home, you'd be exhausted, blah, 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 blah. To now be working in, how many different jobs have I got? I can't even think how many now. It's like at least 6 different jobs and different roles that I have, and it's like, and it's so much fun. And I had somebody say to me the other day, oh, thanks for, taking some time with me on your Sunday. And I'm like, yeah, what's a Sunday? I don't, to me, a Sunday is any other day of the week. It's not a day of rest. It's a creation day, just like any other day.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
And,
so much freedom. And it was like, wow,
yeah.
what a contribution that is to me and my happiness.
Totally.
Mm.
Totally. And, that doesn't mean we don't get to go out and play sometimes either.
Mm-mm.
That's part of our
I play a lot.
too.
I play lots.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
So Cassie, we have a question for you in the chat. Is the helplessness and giving up and choosing not living come from ancestors, or deciding to do the same, but so wanting to choose infinite possibilities?
Manu, would you like to unmute and ask, and we could have a conversation if you're comfortable?
1 second. Trying to, where am I? Can you unmute me?
I unmuted you. Yep.
Oh, yay. I can't
Sorted.
see it on my screen. Thank you.
Cool. So
Okay.
what do you know?
Well, that was something that just came up when you were talking earlier about living. The question for me was, what is living? What is living? Where are the examples in my life that I've seen of living, consciously? And my earliest memory is of my parents, and energetically from my culture and ethnicity and people that I grew up with that
Right.
are dear to me and close to me. And so it just, it might be biomimicry, I guess. But yeah, just that's what came up.
Cool.
Not really knowing what that living is for me. And you talked about judgment, and there's tons and, megatons and megatons of that as a distractor implant. But yeah, the other side of it, what is living for me? If I'm judging myself, and I think you mentioned it.
Can I just
sure
read something that Gary said what living is? When you're actually living, there's a definitive element of life, and there is a demand that you're going to live no matter what is going on around you, or no matter who is going around you. Living is the action one takes in every moment of every day. So where have we defined, again, we were talking about earlier, Cirrus, where how many people have decided they're going to live when they retire, or when they get lots of money, or when they win the lottery, then they can start living. What about if we choose to live in each moment? What would be fun right now? What else can I do? So let me just do this clearing and let's see where you are, Manu. What physical actualization of the terminal and equivocal disease of choice, question, possibility, and contribution are you not acknowledging as the determining factor of living according to the rules of living on planet Earth? Everything that is, times a godzillion. Can we destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. Life is about the accomplishment in this reality. What physical actualization of the terminal and equivocal disease of choice, question, possibility, and contribution are you not acknowledging as the determining factors of living according to the rules of living on planet Earth? Everything that is. Anybody else like to let that one go? Manu, will you let that one go too?
Oh.
Pretty
Yes.
please? Thank you.
Yes, please.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond.
Anything that doesn't allow us to let things go orgasmically like that, I mean, that was some. And you know, they talk about orgasms being a little death, so this is still on topic. And I'm like, oh, I'll have what she's having.
That's so
awesome.
funny. Thank you.
Thank you.
Manu, maybe you might want to write that clearing down.
Oh yeah, okay. I've got it in the Kindle, so what page was that on? Do you know? I have highlighted them, so I'm sure I'll find it, but I thought you might be able to.
I'll pop it in the chat for you shortly.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Would you like me to read that one more time so you can pop it in?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
What physical actualization of the terminal and equivocal disease of choice, question, possibility, and contribution are you not acknowledging as the determining factors of living according to the rules of living on planet Earth? Everything that is times a godzillion. Can we destroy and uncreate and throw that out now?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond.
Oh my God, I'm so hot.
And can we all drop our barriers and expand out a little bit and add a bit more space? There we go. Cool. Thank you for that question, Manu. That was awesome. So choice is constant generation and creation, and there's no conclusion to it. There's only choice and the possibilities that could be. So when we go into definition, when we decide we're going to start living we've cut off our choices, we cut off our possibilities. So everywhere we've ever done that, whether we've judged ourselves for that or gone into the wrongness or whatever, all of those energies there, can we destroy and uncreate and let them go and just peel all of that stuff that is not us away and return all that to senders. Thank you. Oh, nice. Thank you. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Very cool. All right. So our next one is death. Something that you were bringing up earlier, Sarah. I did throw that out. The petite death. There's this belief in this reality that there is a completion to things and then death occurs, which is, you know, how we were talking earlier, how often people retire and they die. Where is that their completion of work? Okay, I'm not working anymore. Okay, I'm done. What about actually loving our lives and our living? And the purpose of all questions is to create awareness. The purpose of all choice is to gain, excuse me, is to gain awareness. Choice is the possibility to gain awareness of what can actually occur. Generation and creation are about looking at the choices, the possibility, and the energy that is going to be in existence as a result of what we choose. So when we're looking at making a choice about something and we tune into that place of, if I choose to do maybe a project, maybe to go and work for somebody, maybe a new relationship, what's my life going to be like in 5 years and 25 years if I choose this? And kind of get the energy of that. And then what's my life going to be like in 5 years or 25 years if I don't choose this? And then also do some pock and potting about any points of view you might have in there on the way to get it, which helps as well. And it's so interesting how much awareness we get when we ask those questions. Like, what is that actually going to create in my life? So, yeah, thank you. And birth to death is considered to be the life cycle on planet Earth, the givens of life and living. You've defined the limitation of life as you live, you have a life, and then you die. How much energy do we use to avoid death? Everything you've done to avoid that, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds.
So does that mean we're avoiding orgasms? Is that what that's also part of it?
Totally.
I'm just gonna bring it back to the little but death. I'm just gonna.
I love it.
Petite more, just like this is Ask Laureen. This is what I do. Y'all know this now. It shouldn't be a surprise. Like,
well, and it's such a gift when you do as well, right? Yeah.
The thing I find interesting about that, Sarah, is, you know, when people say they like make a really big deal about getting multiple orgasms, like it's the be all and end all to get multiple orgasms, and I'm like going, yeah, people don't have that already. So it's like, for me, I go, you mean you don't enjoy your sex that much? Like, seriously, just go have multiple orgasms. It's awesome.
Well, it's really fun to see that and hear that with men, because they're not told that they're allowed to have multiple, if that's even a possibility. And then when you talk to men that actually do have multiple orgasms, they're even more like, yeah, for sure. Like, this is something I've been doing, and it's like a default. But they don't buy into all the points of views that other men are getting about that. So clear away, Cassie. Clear away. I'm willing to receive more orgasms.
Along with all of that, and how it ties into this chapter, I'm just wondering, like, how much of that thing of, like, a guy has to have sex and has to come. They have to ejaculate. And if they don't ejaculate, it's like they've died. Like, there's something terribly wrong with them and they haven't enjoyed it, and there's something wrong with the woman and or the other partner, depending on the case. You know, keep it open. And it's like this reality tells us that the guy has to ejaculate for it to have been classed as good or have done well.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
yet,
So there we go,
if you
Casey.
study sort of tantric practices and stuff, often it is withholding that the actual ejaculation that helps them to become more multi-orgasmic as well.
Mm-hmm.
And what about everything being orgasmic? Whether we're caressing and being caressed by a lover, whether we're walking barefoot on the earth, whether we're skinny dipping in nice, warm, clear, beautiful water, or having the most incredible meal.
Mm.
So everywhere we've ever stopped ourselves from receiving the orgasm that life and living can actually be, can we destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Cool. So, what physical actualization of the terminal and totally corrosive and corrupting disease of indefinite life and living are you not acknowledging as the destructive element of death as the only choice of your reality? Everything that is times a godzillion. Will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. I love watching your face, Cirrus. I think we need to run that one again. What physical actualization of the terminal and totally corrosive and corrupting disease of indefinite life and living are you not acknowledging as the destructive element of death as the only choice of your reality? Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right,
Yes.
wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And let's,
Laughter shifts it fast.
pardon me, what was that?
Laughter shifts things faster. You're laughing, shifts the energy faster. So I'm laughing. It hurts, but I'm laughing.
And let's just add some space to this too. How much space can we be here? Cool, thank you. I'm going to do this just one more time. What physical actualization of the terminal and totally corrosive and corrupting disease of indefinite life and living are you not acknowledging as a destructive element of death as the only choice of your reality? Everything that is times a gazillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And if anybody finds there's any of these that either you can't hear at all or they seem to still have a little niggling of something there, copy them down, create a loop for yourself, write them out, whatever really works for you, just to create some space for yourself on that.
I find creating a little graphic and using it as my cell phone lock screen really helps, because it's like every time you pick up your phone, and let's face it, most of us pick up our phone multiple times a day, and it's like, there it is. Oh, run that one again. Okay, cool. And then carry on throughout my day.
Yeah, that's a great
Really
idea. Yeah, good. Thank you. So our next one, and one of the things that we didn't talk about is how much resistance there is to death in this reality. And when we have a resistance and a reaction to something, it creates a lot of intensity. Anything you resist, you create with even more intensity. And many people are resisting death while at the same time as they're choosing it. So everything that is times a godzillion, can we destroy and uncreate it all, please?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Cool. So reality. What constitutes reality on planet Earth? Everything, every energy that brought up, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. How many of you believe there has to be a balance on the earth? There isn't. That is a reality that is perpetuated on you. Keeps you in a constant state of judgment, and in particular, a judgment of the wrongness of you. Everything that you've done to buy this balance is a reality. Will you destroy and uncreate it, please?
Mm-hmm.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, guys, let's expand out there. And let's call back in those really yummy orgasmic energies.
No, they don't want orgasms. Don't do that.
Well,
Don't. You're not
I
allowed, people.
do. I do.
Only me, Lorraine, and Cassie. That's it.
Would
You know what?
anybody
Forget
else?
about them. Just me. Yep. You know, it's interesting, Cassie. You're bringing this up, and a lot of it, when I was reading this chapter this time, it was what came up for me with the balance idea was polarity, was the whole positive and negative that they talk about in a different way in this chapter, which was, like Lorraine said, mind-blowing. Like the negative being us every time we put ourselves in the wrongness and judgment, and the positive being the change, but it's still not being, just like what we've talked about with order and chaos in access consciousness, that that's also not that one is always what you choose and the other is not always what you choose. It's like you have to be aware of what each of those choices create.
Yeah.
It brought up a lot of stuff around all the metaphysical practices I did and have done and still play with, you know, that they talk about balance. They talk about positive and negative energies, and really avoiding
the yin
those
and
negative
yang.
energies, the yin and the yang. Absolutely. That's another example, right?
Yeah.
And so when I was reading in this one about that the balance is a kind of stagnation, and that our natural state, when we're truly being us, is that motion. Yeah, it was just like, wait, so I got another piece of I really don't ever really need to be balanced. I need to be stagnant. I need to be grounded. I mean, like, maybe my body needs to be grounded, but not me as an infinite being.
Exactly.
And I'm not even sure if my body needs to be grounded. I'm going to ask questions around that too. That was just like, wow.
Well,
wow.
Our bodies love to be in connection, in that co-contribution with the earth. Like, that's yummy. That's part of that orgasmic, that healing, caring, nurturing, all of those energies.
Mm-hmm.
That part, yes. But as far as the way we look at, especially within the metaphysical, the way grounding has been in that balance. And usually, like, how often have we heard that when it's actually coming from somebody as a judgment? Oh, you need to be more grounded. Oh, you're not very balanced. You know, where how many times are we actually in that creative, generative? How many of us who multitask have been told, oh, you need to sit down and you need to concentrate and just do this? Everything can contribute to everything else when you're allowing that flow and that emotion. So everywhere we've ever bought into any of that shit, can we just destroy it, uncreate it all, and return all of that to sender? 1, 2, 3. Ah! That's better.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. No more buying into any of that bullshit. We don't require it. We're infinite beings. We're magical beings. Let's play as magical beings, okay?
Sounds good.
So, what physical actualization of the totally limiting and conceptual structuring disease of true change are you not acknowledging as the perfection of the pathetic and piss-wad life, living, death, and reality you are choosing? Everything that is, times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. I love watching your faces. What physical actualization of the total limiting and conceptual structuring disease of true change are you not acknowledging as the perfection of the pathetic and pisswad life, living, death, and reality you are choosing? Everything that is, times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all 9 shorts, boys and beyond. None of that shit is you. It's never been you. It will never fucking be you. So are you ready to stop buying it? Thank you. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And one of the things Gary talked about in this was how sometimes there's people who will not talk about crappy things like the distractors and stuff, and where there's actually resistance to that going on. And I was reading that, I'm like, oh God, I've done that. So I can be such a Pollyanna. Somebody will be taught, I'm like, oh, look at the bright shiny thing over here. And it's like, oh, where was that actually an opportunity? Oh, I have a spider who's joined us. Um, um, where was that actually an opportunity to see what the distractors were underneath that, whether my own or somebody else's? And so everywhere we've done that, can we just destroy and uncreate that?
Yeah.
Awesome. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds.
With that, Cassie, I actually got like a big wow. I actually put in here, wow, because it was just, I went quiet kids. You know, how often do we make our autistic and spectrum kids really wrong for being very quiet?
Yeah.
And what if it's because they're not buying into this reality bullshit of always talking about the bad things and about the
Right.
problems in life? What
Yeah.
if they're actually in there and they're going, well, I actually don't choose to talk about that, so it's actually easier for me to just stay quiet because I'm not engaging in that
Yeah.
crap.
Or
And I'm like,
how much of
wow.
it also not part of their reality? Like
Mm.
it doesn't even apply. How often have you been kind of hearing something going on with somebody and it's just like, wow, that's really interesting.
Well, the other aspect too that I'm getting from this, so thank you, ladies, is how much of it is that they're aware that if I say this, no one's going to receive it anyway, so why should I bother saying it?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like they only want to hear about the bad things and people complaining, and I don't want to feel like complaining, so I'm just not going to say anything because what I do,
Yeah.
what I would like to actually talk about, you're not willing to receive right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not even in your universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't apply to anyone else on here.
No, not at all.
I was just remembering all those times in, you know, as in social situations where there's a big group of people that I don't necessarily know, and I would be the wallflower. And a lot of my friends now would go, really? You? But it's that whole thing of I just don't want to engage in small talk of problems.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not fun for me. And so it's like I might have to be in that place or space or whatever. It's like it might be at a family function or whatever. And it's like I'm just quietly doing my own thing.
Yeah.
You know, rather than engaging in that, because it doesn't feel fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm doing my duty.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm showing up. I'm there. It's okay.
Yeah. I'm
I
here.
don't hate you. I just don't want to engage in the bullshit.
I just don't have anything to say, or I don't want to trash talk somebody, or I don't. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Cool. So what?
So everything that brought up for everybody.
Yeah. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
Wow.
Whether you've been the wallflower or the not the wallflower or this or that or whatever. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. What physical actualization of the totally limiting and conceptual structuring disease of true change are you not acknowledging as the perfection of the pathetic and pisswad life, living, death, and reality you are choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And one more time for good luck. What physical actualization of the totally limiting and conceptual structuring disease of true change are you not acknowledging as the perfection of the pathetic and pisswad life, living, death, and reality you are choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all.
Yes.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Try asking a question like, what change is actually available here? We have way more possibilities than we've ever imagined. And everywhere we've tried to fit into this reality, can we actually move all that aside and step into your, pull up out of all the realities that you're in, put your barriers down, expand out a little, and tune into what is my reality. If you're not buying and you're not aware of all the little tiny, teeny tiny realities that some people are choosing, what else? And I'm stealing something from something else now. What have you made so vital, valuable, and real about the order of the artificial world called this reality that requires you to lessen your magic to be here? Even though you are the change the world has been asking for and desiring and requiring and hoping you would finally step into being. Everything that doesn't allow you to be, know, perceive, and receive that, times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it, please?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds.
That was a doozy.
I stole that from somewhere else.
Cassie, could you send that to me by Facebook Messenger, and I can pop that into the follow-up email for everybody?
Absolutely.
Or even or you could pop it into the Facebook group if you'd like, if would be easier.
Sure.
Would you guys like that?
Yeah. If I forget, will you let me know?
Oh, I'll ping you all day long.
And this one's for us because I pulled this out of a manual from somewhere else, and it was just I was looking for something else today. I'm like, oh, we're playing with that tonight. So will you all for a moment acknowledge the magic that you actually be and the change you actually be? And can you feel that quickening in your cells in your body? The sparkles, the nurturing, the kindness, the caring, those lovely, yummy, orgasmic energies. Do you know that every step you take on this planet, you are a gift? And everything that doesn't allow you to be, know, perceive, and receive that all the time, every moment, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. That's so cool, Kate. And will you acknowledge and be the magic you be? We are what is changing this planet. In all our weirdness and all the things that others may not have exactly appreciated in us, that is what changes. That's what creates a sustainable planet. So are you willing to dance on the earth and be this crazy ass magical being you truly be? Everything that doesn't allow that times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Thank you. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. You guys are fucking amazing. You show up. You're here. You're still here. That takes so much freaking courage.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Cassie, that was incredible. Absolutely incredible. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Totally. Oh, so grateful for you.
Thank you so much, everybody, for going here today. Now I know why I found that clearing. It's you guys.
So, Cassie, if things have come up for people today and they want to connect with you outside of the group, how can they do that, honey?
I'm on Facebook, Cass Hepburn, without the IE. You can message me. My email's casshepburn@gmail.com. What else? I'm kind of so spacious right now.
Can they grab you through the Access website as well?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm on, so if you're looking for facilitators, I'm on Vancouver Island, so in Canada. Yeah.
And on top
Canada's
of that,
oh,
yeah, it's gorgeous, Vancouver area. It's wonderful. It kind of changed my life to be in Vancouver. So you should definitely not go there and change your life and get to play with Cassie. Absolutely not. You're not allowed. The other thing I wanted to share is that maybe Cassie in her spaciousness forgot is that you're a part of multiple books.
I am.
There's a ton of books that you've written, so that's really cool. And I'll send a link to her Amazon author page in the follow-up. All the topics are all over the place, which is just really cool.
Yeah. I think the last one was one of my favorites. That and the magic one. Yeah.
Hit, nudge, nudge. Okay, don't choose magic, people.
Pretty please. Please. Just even that much. Will you let yourself have that much?
Little deaths, one little death at a time.
Thank you so much. This was so much fun. And you guys are amazing hosts. You just make this so easy. Thank you.
Thank you.
So grateful. I don't want to say goodbye.
time we are playing with Greg Bryars, who is a fellow Kiwi that no longer lives in Kiwiland. And he is an amazing body person. He's been working with bodies for many, many years, and he's creating an absolutely phenomenal movement over in Europe. And so grateful for him, so grateful that he's chosen to come and play with us too. So his call is on the 9th of February, 5 p.m. Eastern, and the 10th of February at 8 a.m. In Brizzy time. And so we'll get to have our second dive into this absolutely amazing chapter 5. And I really, really strongly invite you to re-listen to this call. Please grab those clearings out, chuck them on a loop. They're all in the book there pretty much, except for those last couple that Cassie gave us as an extra little treat, but we'll pop them in the email for you. So you've got them as well, okay? So happy to have you with us, Kat.
And please read the chapter again.
Read it again at least a couple of times if you can, you know, because I know for me, every time I reread it, especially after doing these calls, I see a whole bunch of new stuff. It's like, oh wow, and new stuff things, and it's so much fun. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, sometimes you think, I don't remember seeing that. Was that always in there?
Yep, I missed a whole half of chapter 3 for that.
True story. Wow. There are a lot of thank yous here for you, Cassie, just in the chat in case you didn't see them. Thank you everyone for being on. And so I'll send out the follow-up email within the next 24 hours, and you'll find it in the Hightail folder. Thank you for those of you who let me know when there's any wonks or kinks in the technology around that. I really appreciate it. It's definitely a team effort to make this ease, joy, and glory. So thank you for keeping tabs on that and checking in about it. So sometimes I have to go in and like tweak some things. I'm totally willing to do that. And then we'll see you in about a little over a week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
everyone.
Bye.
It's so much fun.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.